Hello, Matt from Intellijel here, and recently I've been messing around with this Atlantix patch that I'd like to share with you today. In this video, I'll break down the patch step by step so you can see the process and perhaps take some inspiration for your own patching. The objective of this patch is to use our sequences, Modulation and Steppy, to create techno loops with a wide variety of analog timbres, all from a single voice, Atlantix. The variations in timbre are achieved by sequencing envelopes from quad tracks to modulate the parameters of our synth voice. The envelopes can be individually or collectively shaped through manual adjustment or through CV control using quad VCA and quad DRAT. First things first, patch the clock out from Modulation to Steppy. From Modulation, I'll use track 1 to gate Atlantix, and for pitch, I'll use output A, which is set to the unquantized slider positions 0 to 5 volts. I also want to mix in VCOB's triangle waveform, so I'll patch this from the ATLX expander into aux 2. Now we can patch Atlantix to the main outs, and we can get a sequence going. Our first envelope on quad tracks will modulate the filter cutoff on Atlantix. This will be triggered by Steppy track A, and the envelope is patched into channel 1 of quad VCA. From there, we'll patch it to the FM1 input of the VCF. I'll turn up the attenuator on Atlantix. I'll start Modulation running. Going to increase the full time on quad tracks and turn up the quad VCA attenuator. And now you can hear the envelope opening up the filter when Steppy triggers it. We're going to use envelope 2 to modulate the pitch of oscillators A and B. Steppy track B will trigger this envelope. We'll pass it through channel 2 and quad VCA and then out to a mult. From there, we'll patch it to FM2 on VCOA and FMB for VCOB. Now we can add pitch mod steps to our sequence. Envelope 3 is going to affect IM or index modulation on VCOA. This sets the depth of modulation of VCOA from mod X, which we have set to VCOB sine. Track C on Steppy will trigger the envelope, we'll patch it through quad VCA channel 3, and then out to the index modulation input. Now we can sequence in bursts of frequency modulation. With envelope 4, we're going to create bursts of noise through the VCA to modulate the filter cutoff on Atlantix. Steppy track D will trigger envelope 4. Now instead of patching the envelope through the VCA, we'll patch it to the CV input of the channel instead. We then patch the noise out from Atlantix into the VCA and back to FM2 on the VCF section. Now we can control the level of our noise bursts with the CV attenuator, and we can also add some constant noise modulation by turning up the VCA attenuator. So now that all the modulators are patched up, we can start to experiment with the balance of modulation in this patch to see what kind of tones we can generate. To add another dimension to this patch, we're going to use the mod lane on Modulation to modulate the level of envelopes 1, 2, and 3. This allows us to sequence the depth of the modulation out to Atlantix. First, we'll need to assign mod lane 1 to CV output B. Press Alt, then press B, Select Mod for the first option, and then select Mod 1 to output B for the second option. Now we'll patch this into the first CV input of Quad VCA to modulate channels 1, 2, and 3 through normaling. We'll open up the mod page and draw in some modulation with the dial. Let's run the sequence, and then we can turn up the CV attenuators on Quad VCA to modulate the envelope levels with the sequence. This will become more obvious if we turn down the level of the attenuators as well. Balancing CV and manual attenuation can lead to some interesting results. Quadrax has 4 assignable CV inputs used to control the parameters of each modulator. We're going to patch into these with a couple of outputs from Quadrat and use them as macro controls. Let's start with CV input A, which we'll assign to the full time of envelopes. Hold the Link CV button to select a modulator. It'll blink magenta. A blue LED indicates the CV source. Then use the Mode Destination button to assign modulation. We'll assign CV A to full time on all modulators. Now we'll assign CV input B to the level of our envelopes. Now that these controls are assigned, we have 2 macro controls to increase or decrease the overall intensity of our modulation through full time and level. So that's the entire patch. You could take this further with plenty of other tweaks and variations, but I'll leave that up to your imagination. Here are a few things that I found fun when playing with this specific patch. You can quickly change up sequences on Metropolix by using offset, pulse length, and stage length. For example, if I go into track 1, press Alt and turn the dial to offset the pattern, you can immediately hear the effect this has. And all we have to do is turn the dial for something new each time. You can randomize the mod lane for quick variations in modulation of the VCAs. If I select the mod lane and view modulation, I can press Alt to select all, then press the X button for total random, or the Y button for smaller random variations. Z returns the original modulation settings from when you first open the page. You can uncouple VCOB from the pitch input, so one oscillator holds a steady note. This is great for techno bass lines, especially if we pitch VCOB down. Adding to that last point, you can use aux2 routing switch to bypass the filter altogether. This will give you a much deeper sound and works best with triangle or sine waves through aux2. Syncing VCO-A to VCO-B sounds great in this setup. If VCO-B is a static note, you'll get plenty of interesting timbre changes as VCO-A is modulated. Also, let's not forget that Atlantix has a pretty cool drive circuit, so let's try that out on these sounds. And it's also worth pointing out that you don't always have to use short, sharp envelopes as modulators. Experiment with different settings on Quadrax, try different envelope shapes and different modulation types as well. final tip, add drums. So we hope you found this more in-depth patching video useful. Like if that's the case, and subscribe for more in future. Leave a comment with your favourite patching tips and tricks as well if you like. And as always, thanks for watching and see you next time.